hindsight is 2020, and I can remember when I was lost in the world with no vision, not knowing what my purpose was on the earth. I was lost. Now I understand what the Bible says. Without a vision, the people.
Mission, then you dying off. Gotta calculate the effort, yeah, I count the cost. All I gain in this world, gotta take a loss. He saw time winding down like the time on. If you thinking otherwise, then your timing wrong. No more celebrations, ain't no mazel tov. The only cocktail you drinking is a Molotov. Get ready for Armageddon, yeah, the end is not. It was first by the water, now it's with the fire. Yeah, missiles are like stars in the sky. And when they touch down, watch the stars all align. No astrology, my theology spiritual. Not a heretic, cause my heritage biblical. We raising the dead, we performing the miracles. Israel on the rise until we dancing on biblical. Using me, living in a wall of death, I know you ain't fooling me. How you love your life when it's a lie, that's just so cool to read. Knowing that the kingdom to come is now. We gon' rule with all our eyes can see. Thank the Lord now that I can see, yeah. All that's been shown to us is grown through us. Whatever throne they grown through us is going to us. What's here today is gone tomorrow. You can't atone for what's in your bone fluid. We on to you. We get provoked and catapult, then to medieval. The Holy Host play the swords, we assault the cathedral. It is written of her ravaging store. The book of sacred sword, the author pen dragging this ore. I tip my hat to the stars, against the odds. Now it's clicking, they can't heal cause it's odds. They can't appeal to what's revealed to their gods. The fleet is here, they come, they kill the facade. The end is near, they concerned, they gon' burn. See these heathen tripping, they hit the belly. No wonder why when we eat bitter, they think we sweet. Then the ones that diabetes. You think you using me, living in a world of death, I know you ain't fooling me. How you love your life when it's a lie, that's just so cool to read. Knowing that the kingdom to come is now. We gon' move with all our eyes can see. Thank the Lord now that I can see, yeah. Everything ain't what it seems. The eyes of our understanding gleam without a beam as we overstand the balance. And wolves turn the sheep through their malice. We at peace. The water of the reef in our chalice overrunning from the east. Where's the challenge? I like some borealis. We shining in the north throughout the outer's realm. Metal with the plug as the outlet. We rather do what we must. Young budget, single mountain in the grand scheme of things. We the forerunners. When he declares so much clear with more thunder. We clairvoyant, our cold come with a war bundle. The fire we store, some in the eye of the storm. Rather the iron, or we pushing through the brigades with our bare hands easy. We blew through that water like it's Fiji. I understand the mission, why it needs me, and so it freed me. You think you using me, living in a world of death, I know you ain't fooling me. How you love your life when it's a lie, that's just so cool to read. Knowing that the kingdom to come is now. We gon' rule with all our eyes can see. Thank the Lord now that I can see, yeah.
These three. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. I'm standing in the battle and I'm ready for more. I'm praying salvation is coming, so I'm ready for war. I put my garment and my best boots on. This ain't no time for no flakes. We are the saviors and we waking up Jake. I grab my backpack, check it twice. I need my battle shield, fighting just to keep the command. Love is a battlefield, the movie just became 3D. This ain't a TV screen, 100-fold with a K. This is a murder scene, we're moving like we needed a spirit. My people walking dead, the king is on his way with a learn to be brave and be taught how to fight fear with God on the side. Then we can never fight fear. Though loved ones left me, I got my family right here. Y'all living in the dark, but we pass y'all like years. Dreams on the nightmares. Reality is quite clear. You can't go to war if you don't got the right gear. This body a hotel, the Lord manage now. I got angels checking in, these demons checking out. Believe without a doubt, water is the word. Living in the drought, traveling down the road to life. There ain't no other route. Our people living for the clout. Set the souls for large amounts. My trust stored in God's account. Israel is what I'm about.
How can we walk together unless we agree? Look at us and you'll see Godhead. You can't go past land and see, but it ain't no changing we. One mission, us three. Godhead. Wake up, little sheep. You in danger if you sleep. It's the devil watching me. Godhead. How can we walk together unless we agree? Look at us and you'll see Godhead.
Hey, shalom, shalom. What's on, Christ bless? Good morning. Good morning, Israel. This is History in the AM. I am Captain Josiah out of North Carolina, and we're going over Judges chapter 3 today. And I want to start with, let me see. All right, come back to that. So again, Judges chapter 3. Now I want to start with I'm gonna go back to chapter 2, and we'll lead into chapter 3. I'll start at verse. I started 18, right? Judges chapter 2, verse 18. It says, and when the Lord raised them up judges, then the Lord was with the judge and delivered them out of their enemies, out of the hands of their enemies all the days of the judge. For it repented the Lord because of the groanings by reason of them that oppressed them and vexed them. And it came to pass when the judge was dead, then they returned and corrupted themselves. Okay, so the Lord raised up judges for the nation of Israel to defend us. It says, and it came to pass when the judge was dead, that they returned and corrupted themselves because corrupted themselves more than their fathers in the following other gods to serve them and to bow down unto them. They ceased not from their own doings, not from their stubborn way. And the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel. And he said, because that this people have transgressed my covenant, which I commanded their fathers, and have not hearkened unto my voice, I also will not henceforth drive out any from before them of the nations which Joshua left when he died. Okay, so again, I want to highlight 18 and 19. I'll read that again. And when the Lord raised them up judges, then the Lord was with the judge and delivered them out of the hand of their enemies all the days of the judge. For it repenteth the Lord because of their groanings by reason of them that oppressed them and vexed them. And it came to pass when the judge was dead, that they returned and corrupted themselves more than their fathers in the following other gods to serve them, and to bow down unto them. They ceased not from their own doings, nor from their stubborn way. So this right here in the book of Judges is now a repetitive cycle. Okay, it keeps going over and over and over and over again. All right, and I want to use 2nd Ezra chapter 5 verse 42. It says, and he said unto me, I will liken my judgments unto a ring. Okay, I will liken my judgments unto a ring. So a circle, like a cycle. Okay. Like as there is no slackness of the last, even so there is no swiftness of the first. So cycles, right? So oftentimes things that we read in the past is happening to this very day. Okay. Same thing with the book of Judges. Okay. It's a repetitive cycle. Israel would, sin. Most High delivered them into the hand of the enemies, or us, our forefathers and foremothers. Okay. You raise up a judge. We get ourselves right. Okay. Have some level of deliverance. The judge dies. And we go back to the same foolishness over and over and over and over again. Okay. I go back. Judges chapter 2, verse 20 or 20. And the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel, and he said, because of this people have transgressed my covenant, which I commanded their fathers, and have not hearkened unto my voice, I also would not henceforth drive out any of them of the nations which Joshua left when he died, that through them I may prove Israel, whether they will keep the way of the Lord to walk therein, as their fathers did keep it or not. Okay, so I'm going to leave the nations behind. Okay, I'm going to prove them by these nations. Are they going to follow me or not? Verse 23. Therefore, the Lord left those nations without driving them out hastily, neither delivered he them into the hand of Joshua. All right, so now beginning with chapter 3, verse 1. It says, now these are the nations which the Lord left to prove Israel by them, even as many of Israel had not known all the wars of Canaan. All right, so he left nations, all right, behind to prove us, even as many, I read again, even as many of Israel had not known the wars of Canaan. Now, what are the wars of Canaan? Those wars start in the book of Joshua, okay, and lead all the way up. I'm going to start with, just as an example, Joshua chapter 11. Now, they start in chapter 6, I believe, and they go all the way up, okay? The detailed accounts from chapter 6 and up, but I'm going to start at chapter 11, verse 16. It says, so Joshua took all the land, the hills and the south country, and all the land of Goshen and the valley, and the plain and the mountain of Israel, and the valley of the same, even from the Mount Halak that goeth up to Seir, even unto Baal Gad, in the valley of Lebanon, under the Mount Hermon, and all their kings he took and smote and slew them. Joshua made war a long time with all those kings. You see that? Joshua made war a long time with all those kings. There was not a city that made peace with the children of Israel, save the Hivites, the inhabitants of Gibeon. All others they took in battle. It says there was no city that made peace other than the Hivites in Gibeon. All right. For it was of the Lord to harden their hearts. You see that? It was of the Lord to harden their hearts, that they should come against Israel in battle, that he might destroy them utterly, and that they might have no favor, but that he might destroy them as the Lord commanded Moses. And at that time came Joshua and cut off the Anakims from the mountain. Okay, we read about them in the previous lessons in Judges. Let me look here. Judges chapter 1, verse 10. All right, I'll read it. It says, and Judah went out against the Canaanites that dwelt in the Hebron. Now the name of Hebron before was Kirjath Arba. And they slew Josiah and Ahiman and Talmah. All right, so you have to go back to the other lessons on Judges chapter 1. But I show that the Kirjath Arba, that means the city of Arba, these were the Anakims, or the children of Anak. So I'll go back to 21 again. Joshua chapter 11, verse 21. And at that time, came Joshua and cut off the Anakims from the mountain, from Hebron, from Debir, from Anab, and from all the mountains of Judah, and from all the mountains of Israel. Joshua destroyed them utterly with their cities. All right. And there was none of the Anakims left in the land of the children of Israel. Only in Gaza, in Gath, and Ashdod there remain. Okay. Those are coastal lands. It says there was none of the Anakims left in the land of the children of Israel. Only in Gaza, in Gath, and Ashdod there remain. So Joshua took the whole land according to all that the Lord said unto Moses. And Joshua gave it for an inheritance unto Israel according to their divisions by their tribes, and the land rested from war. Okay, so again, from chapter 6 all the way up are the wars of Canaan, the conquest of the land. Okay, so we had a level of military success against the Canaanites, Perizzites, Jebusites, so forth and so on. Going back to Judges chapter 3, verse 1 again. All right, so that was highlighting the wars of Canaan in brief. All right, now these are the nations which the Lord left to prove Israel by them, even as many of Israel as had not known the wars of Canaan. Okay, only that the generation of the children of Israel might know to teach them war. Only that the generation of the children of Israel might know to teach them war. So God left nations behind to teach us war. We had to have somebody to train against. Okay, I want y'all to go fight these heathens so y'all can know how to fight. Well, I thought God loved everybody. Okay, again, Christians don't know the Bible. This is proving who the Most High is dealing with right here. Only the nation of Israel. He left the nations behind to teach us war. Okay. If he loved them the same, why would he do things like this? Again, the Christian church will try to act like they forgot that he killed the Egyptians to deliver us out of Egypt. Now we're going into the land and we're conquering other nations. Okay. It says he left them to teach us war. Okay. Let's get Exodus chapter 15, verse 3. It says, Exodus chapter 15, verse 3, the Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name. The Lord is a man of war. Okay, so yes, he left the nations behind in the land of Canaan to teach us war. He's a man of war. He wanted us to learn that same concept, how to fight, how to defend yourself. Okay. Give me Jeremiah 51. I read this in one of the previous lessons, but I want to get it again. All right. Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 20. Watch this. Thou art my battle axe. You, Israel, are my battle axe. Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. For with thee I will break in pieces the nations. With you, Israel, I will break in pieces the nations, and with thee I will destroy kingdoms, and with thee I will break in pieces the horse and his rider, and with thee will I break in pieces the chariot and his rider. Okay, you, Israel, are my battle axe. Going back to Exodus 15:3, the Lord is a man of war. All right. Back to Judges chapter 3, verse 2. Only that the generation of the children of Israel might know to teach them war, at least such as before knew nothing thereof. Okay. Namely, verse 3, namely 5 lords of the Philistines, and all of the Canaanites, and the Zidonians, and the Hivites that dwelt in Mount Lebanon, from Mount Baal Hermon, unto the entering into Hamath. Okay. Namely, 5 lords of the Philistines are the Canaanites and the Zidonians and the Hivites that dwelt in Mount Lebanon, from Mount Baal Hermon, unto the entering of Hamath. Okay. So I want to deal with the 5 lords of the Philistines. We're going to go back to Joshua chapter 13 and verse 3. From Sihor, which is before Egypt, even unto the borders of Ekron, northward, which is counted to the Canaanite. This next part, watch this. 5 lords of the Philistines. So now this is defining what it said in brief in Judges chapter 3, verse 3. Lost my page, gotta go back. All right. 5 lords of the Philistines. The Gazathites and the Ashtothites and the Esclanites, the Gittites and the Ekronites. Those are the 5. And then it says, and also the Avites. Okay, I'll read that part again. 5 lords of the Philistines, the Gazathites, the Ashtothites, the Esclanites, the Gittites, and the Ekronites, also the Avites. So the first 5 is what it's talking about in Judges chapter 3. And I want to show y'all this on this map. All right. Hold on a second. All right. Give me a sec here. Okay. All right. So I was getting a notification about. Okay. I want to go back to Joshua 13. Sorry, I was getting poor connection. Give me a second. 13 and verse 3. It says the Gazathites. So you see right here, okay, Gaza, the Ashtothites. Then the next one said the Asclanites, which is trying to find them, getting poor connection up here. All right, you got Ekron, Ashkelon. We find that that's Ashkelon there. Ashkelon, Goth. It mentioned the Gothites. Coastal lands. Coastal lands. I keep getting poor connection notifications, so I hope y'all can hear me. All right, let me put this down. Okay. All right. I hope y'all can see that. I kept getting a poor connection notification, so I'm not sure how well that went through. All right. But those are coastal lands when you look at when you go back to the map. All right. Gaza, Ashkelon, Ashdod, Ekron is somewhat inland, and then Goth is somewhat inland as well. All right. So going back to Judges chapter 3, you know what? Let me get 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel. Give me a second. Let me get 1 Samuel. Chapter 6. And verse 16. And when the 5 lords of the Philistines had seen it, they returned to Ekron the same day. And these are the golden emeralds which the Philistines returned for a trespass offering unto the Lord. All right, for Ashdod and for Gaza, one for Ashkelon, one for Gath, and one for Ekron. All right, so I'm going to try to show y'all that again real quick. Hopefully we don't get messed up here. All right, it says one for, all right, one for Gaza, which is here. All right, one for Ashkelon, one for Gath, which is inland right there, and Ekron is right. So that's what it's talking about. All right, the 5 lords. Okay. Judges chapter 3, verse 3 again. Namely, 5 lords of the Philistines, and all the Canaanites and Zidonians and the Hivites that dwell in Mount Lebanon, from Mount Baal Hermon unto the entering into Hamath. So it's just explaining the different lands that he left the nations behind there. Okay. The Philistines are 5 lords, or more or less on the coast. Canaanites more inland, north side. It's just highlighting, okay, geographically where those nations were. All right, when you go back and look at the map. Verse 4. And they were to prove Israel by them, to know whether they would hearken unto the commandment of the Lord, which he commanded their fathers by the hand of Moses. Okay. And they were to prove Israel by them, to know whether they would hearken unto the commandment of the Lord, which he commanded their fathers by the hand of Moses. Let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 7. 2nd Ezra chapter 7. And we're going to start at verse 3. And I said, speak on, my God. Then said he unto me, the sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. So tomorrow, the ocean, the sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. But put the case, the entrance were narrow and like a river. But the situation to that is, the entrance to that place is very narrow, like a river. You know what? I'm going to show y'all that. Hopefully this connection thing doesn't go crazy again. Hold on. Give me a sec. I'm going to show you using the example of like the Euphrates River, which that'll come up. I think, yeah, it's going to come up later on. Show you all these images here. Okay. So, for example, let me get this image. Okay. Y'all see? Let me just use this to make it simple. All right, you see the Euphrates River. It's highlighting it right there. But then you got the big body of water down here. Okay. I'm going to expand that out in a second. But you see, the river travels into the sea. Okay. And this is a bigger image there. You see, it leads, this Euphrates leads into the Persian Gulf, which is into the Arabian Sea or the Indian Ocean, for example. All right, just showing y'all that. Okay. Back to 2nd Ezra 7, verse 3 and 4 again. And I said, speak on, my God. Then said he unto me, the sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. But put the case, the entrance were narrow and like a river. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it if he went not through the narrow? How could he come into the broad place? Okay. There's another thing. There's also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field and is full of all good things. The entrance thereof is narrow and set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand and on the left a deep water. So there's a city that's built, okay, And the entrance to that city is like fire on the right hand and a deep water on the left. All right. And only one path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. If this city were now given unto a man for an inheritance, if he shall never pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive the inheritance? Okay, so you got to go through this narrow entrance to get to that place. Watch this. 10. And I said, it is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, even so is Israel's portion. Even so is Israel's portion. So now Israel now has to enter in through trials, tribulations, turmoil, so forth and so on. Verse 11. Because for their sakes I made the world, and when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that now is done. Okay. When Adam transgressed, now, because we had the kingdom before, it was just given to us. It was handed to us. Everything was easy. Okay. Now you see entering into the land, trials, tribulations. We gotta go through war, so forth and so on. Okay. Going back, Judges chapter 3, verse 4 again. Okay. And they were to prove Israel by them, to know whether they would hearken unto the commandment of the Lord, which he commanded their fathers by the hand of Moses. Okay. So he said he's not going to just make it easy for us anymore. Now that second Ezra says when Adam transgressed, okay, now that fell upon all of us. But we see time after time after time, as we beginning to read through Judges, we were doing the same thing here. Okay. Making it difficult on our own selves. All right. Going back, verse 5. And the children of Israel dwelt among the Canaanites, the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites. Okay. So we dwelt among these nations, and the Most High said, I ain't going to drive them out, but I want to leave them to teach y'all war. Did we use them for war only? No. Watch this. Okay. It says, verse 6, and they took their daughters to be their wives, and gave their daughters to their sons, and served their gods. So we, again, failed the test. The nations were left to prove us whether we're going to hearken to the commandments. It's the same thing today. When you read God's laws, there's nothing oftentimes in God's laws that's restricting us from doing something that we wouldn't do anyway. There's that test. That test is set before us, like Deuteronomy 7:3. Don't make marriages with them. Okay, that doesn't mean that law is there, indicating that you're going to see men and women that are attractive in the other nations. It's going to happen. And then you got to obey God's law that says don't deal with them. Okay. Don't serve their gods. Okay. That's interesting. What are they doing with their gods? It's going to intrigue some of us. Okay. But the Most High says don't serve them. Destroy them. When the law says thou shalt not steal. Okay. Some of us have temptations to steal. It's like, oh, I like that thing. I don't have the money, but I want to take it. No, the Most High says don't do that. All right. The Most High's laws are there because the temptation is in our spirits. All right. That's why those laws are there. Okay. Verse 6 again. And they took their daughters to be their wives, and gave their daughters to their sons, and served their gods. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord, and forgot their God, and served Balaam. Okay. Served Balaam and the groves. Now, I touched on that in chapter 2, how chapter 2, verse 13. Okay. 11. Balaam, that's plural. That means many. All right. And I'll show you that again. First Chronicles, I'll just go through maybe one or two precepts on it. First Chronicles chapter 4, verse 33. And all their villages that were round about, the same cities unto Baal. It says, and all the villages that were round about, in every village that was around us, about the same cities unto Baal. So you had different gods in all the cities around us. All right. Unto Baal. So we served Balaam. We served all of those gods. Okay. Of the cities that were around us, the Hivites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, the Canaanites. Okay. So forth and so on. They had different idols set up in different cities and we served them. Okay. For example, Judges chapter 20. Judges chapter 20, verse 32. And the children of Benjamin said, they are smitten down before us as at the first. But the children of Israel said, let us flee and draw them unto the cities, unto the city, unto the highways, or from the city unto the highways. And all the men of Israel rose up out of their place and put themselves in array at Baal Tamar. Okay, that term, Baal Tamar. That means the Lord of the palm trees. Okay. Again, going back to Chronicles, 1 Chronicles 4:33. Unto the cities of Baal. This is an example. Baal Tamar. And the liars in wait of Israel came forth out of their places, even unto the meadows of Gibeah. So that's just an example. All right. You had many of them. Okay. Baal Tamar, Beelzebub, Baal Harmon. It was many. All right. Unto the cities of Balaam or Baal. All right. Verse 7 again. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord and forgot their God and served Balaam and the groves. We serve Balaam and the groves. First Maccabees. I'm going to go to First Maccabees chapter 1. What are these groves going into? First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 47. I started 46. And pollute the sanctuary and the holy people, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts. It says they set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts. All right. Now, let me show y'all that further in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13. Oftentimes, these groves go into orgies, sexual idolatry. For example, you have the idol Ashtaroth, Ishtar, Astarte, Diana of Ephesus, Easter today. It's a fertility goddess, going back to the groves. Okay. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 13, verse 11. Now a carpenter that fell of timber. Okay. Now a carpenter that fell of timber, wood, trees. After he have sawn down a tree, meet for the purpose. So he cut down a tree, meet for the purpose, and taketh off the bark skillfully round about, and have wrought it handsomely, and made a vessel thereof fit for the service of man's life. So he took this tree down, cut the bark off of it, and he has it for a particular purpose. Verse 12, and after spinning the refuse of his work to dress his meat, have filled himself and taken the very refuse among those which serve to no use, being a crooked piece of wood full of knots, have carved it diligently when he have nothing else to do. So he then take this wood and then carve an image, clean it all up, all right, when he has nothing else to do. And formed it by the skill of his understanding and fashioned it to an image of a man. So now he put a image of a man within this piece of wood that he cut down. Or made it to some vile beast, laying it over with vermilion and with paint, coloring it red and covering every spot therein. Okay, or he make it look like an animal and color it all up and so forth. And when he had made a convenient room for it, set it in a wall and made it fast with iron, so that he put it in a stand. Okay. For he provided for it that it might not fall, because the tree can't stand up on its own. He has to put it in something so it don't fall over. For he provided for it that it might not fall, knowing that it was unable to help itself. For it is an image and have need of help. It's just an image. That's all it is. Something you created with your own hands out of a tree. All right. Then maketh he prayer for his goods, for his wife, his children, and is not ashamed to speak to that which have no life. So he literally cut the thing down his daggone self, carved it into whatever image, whether it's the image of a man or image of a beast, dress it up, make it look nice, set it up so it can't fall over. Then he starts praying to it his daggone self. The Most High has a sense of humor. He's saying, look how stupid this guy is. Look how idiotic this is. You cut this thing down. You got to do everything for it. Then you turn around and pray unto that thing, to pay homage unto it. You praying for your wife, your children, and so forth to this thing that you just made yourself. Okay. Verse 17 again. Then maketh he prayer for his goods and for his wife and his children, and is not ashamed to speak to that which have no life. For health, he calleth upon that which is weak. So you praying to the tree for good health. Meanwhile, you just brought it in the house yourself. Okay. For life prayeth to that which is dead. Okay. It's now dead. You cut it down from the life that it had while it was in the ground. Now you're praying to that thing for life. Okay. For aid humbly beseeches that which have least means to help. All right. That thing can't even help itself, and you're praying to that thing for help, for aid. And for a good journey, he asketh of that which cannot set a foot forward. Damn. The thing can't even move on its own, but you're praying to that to help you on your journey. Okay. And for gaining and getting and for good success of his hands, asketh ability to do him that is most unable to do anything for itself. All right. So that's an example. That's another example, rather, of the groves. OK, not only going into promiscuity, dealing with the women, orgies and so forth, sexual lust, also going into literally cutting down trees and setting up images, OK, into those trees and then worshiping them. That's the groves. OK, going into tree worship and so forth. All right. Go back to Judges chapter 3, verse, where I stop at? Verse 7. Judges chapter 3, verse 7. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord and forgot the Lord their God and served Balaam and the groves. Therefore, the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel, and he sold them into the hand of Cushan-Rishathaim. All right. He sold them into the hand of Cushan-Rishathaim, king of Mesopotamia, and the children of Israel served Cushan-Rishathaim 8 years. All right. That term means double wickedness. Double wickedness. That's what that king's his name means. You may see Cush means black as well. All right. But double wickedness. You may see something dealing with blackness, black in iniquity or something like that. All right. But double wickedness. I'll read it again. Therefore, the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel, and he sold them into the hand of Cushan-Rishathaim, king of Mesopotamia. Okay. Now, I'm going to go back to that that map I showed y'all earlier dealing with the Euphrates. Give me a second. So I showed y'all this earlier, okay? When we talked about the Euphrates River, just an example how, a river went into the sea, right? But look at this, all right? That is, all right, Mesopotamia is here. That's the Euphrates River, same landmass there, okay? Same thing. All right. Let's see here. Okay. So that's Mesopotamia. That term means the land between two rivers. All right. That's what Mesopotamia means. The land between two rivers. And it's when you saw the Euphrates on the left side, then you have the Tigris River on the right hand side. All right. So that's what Mesopotamia means. The land between two rivers. All right. Therefore, the anger, verse 8 again. Therefore, the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel, and he sold them into the hand of Cushan-Rishathaim, king of Mesopotamia. And the children of Israel served Cushan-Rishathaim 8 years. All right. And when the children of Israel cried unto the Lord raised up a deliverer. Okay. So you see that. It's a cycle again. Okay. Most High. Hey, test. Can y'all still hear me? Can y'all still hear me, Israel? Okay. Thank you, sis. I don't know why the screen just turned purple for some reason. All right. So going back to Mesopotamia, I'm going to show y'all that. Genesis, watch this. Genesis chapter 11. Verse 31. This is, again, dealing with Mesopotamia. I'm going to show y'all the forefather Abraham came from there. Genesis 11. I'll start at 28, actually. And Haran died before his father Terah in the land of his nativity, in Ur of the Chaldees. In Ur of the Chaldees. And Abram and Nahor took them wives, and the name of Abraham's wife was Sarai. And the name of Nahor's wife was Milcah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah and the father of Ishkah. And Sarai was barren, she had no child. And Terah took Abram his son, and Lot the son of Haran, his son's son, and Sarai his daughter-in-law, his son Abraham's wife. And they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees to go into the land of Canaan. And they came unto Haran and dwelt there. All right. They went forth from Ur of the Chaldees. I'm going to show y'all this map again. Okay. Back to the same thing. Down here. Ur of the Chaldees is right there. All right. That's Mesopotamia. Okay. The Euphrates here and the Tigris on that side. Okay. Now, Genesis chapter 24, just to show y'all, just to prove it in the scriptures. Genesis 24 and let me see, verse 4. But thou shalt go unto my country, unto my kindred, and take a wife unto my son Isaac. Okay. Abraham commissioned his servant here to go find a wife for Isaac. But it says, verse 4 again, but thou shalt go unto my country, unto my kindred, and take a wife unto my son Isaac. I'm going to skip down to verse 10. And the servant took 10 camels of the camels of his master and departed, for all the goods of his master were in his hand. And he arose and went to Mesopotamia unto the city of Nahor. Remember, we read that earlier. Ur of the Chaldees. It's defining it as Mesopotamia here. So I just want to show y'all that. All right. Going back to Judges chapter 3, verse 9 now. And when the children of Israel cried unto the Lord raised up a deliverer to the children of Israel, who delivered them, even Othniel, the son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother. All right. We read about Othniel in Judges chapter 1, verse 13. Verse 13. I'll start at 12 and read down to 14. Judges 1, verse 12. And Caleb said, he that smiteth Kirjath-Sepher, okay, Kirjath-Sepher, that meant the city of books or city of learning. All right. He that smiteth Kirjath-Sepher and taketh it, to him will I give Achsah my daughter to wife. And Othniel, the son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother, took it, and he gave him Achsah his daughter to wife. All right. And it came to pass when she came to him. Well, that's all I want. I'll stop there. So Othniel there. Same Othniel. Okay. So his wife's name was Achsah. When he took the city Kirjath-Sepher, Caleb gave him his daughter. So same brother there. Judges chapter 3, verse 9 again. And when the children of Israel cried unto the Lord raised up a deliverer to the children of Israel, who delivered them, even Othniel, the son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother. He's from the tribe of Judah. Okay, Othniel was from the tribe of Judah. All right, and the Spirit of the Lord came upon him, and he judged Israel, and went out to war, and the Lord delivered Cushan-Rishathaim, king of Mesopotamia, into his hand, and prevailed against Cushan-Rishathaim. Okay, again, double wickedness. All right, that's what that name means. I imagine we called him that. Okay, I don't think he would have called himself double wickedness, but nevertheless, that's what it means. All right, verse 11. And the land had rest 40 years, and Othniel, the son of Kenaz, died. So the land had rest 40 years under Othniel, then he died. Now it said we served them 8 years in verse 8, and then we had rest for 40 years under Othniel. Okay, again, that same cycle. We sinned, the Lord raised up a judge. We did all right for a while the judge lived, then he died, then we went back into foolishness. Okay, verse 12. And the children of Israel, 11, I'll read 11. And the land had rest 40 years, and Othniel, the son of Kenaz, died. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord strengthened Eglon, the king of Moab, against Israel. So here we go again. And the Lord strengthened Eglon, the king of Moab, against Israel, because they had done evil in the sight of the Lord. Okay. Now, Psalm 17, verse 13. It says, arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Okay. So God uses the other nations to punish us. Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right. Hey, Israel, real quick. Is the screen looks purple on y'all end too? So this is like this whole film over the screen. Can y'all see that as well? Or is that just on my end? Okay. I have no idea why it's doing that. Some sort of glitch, but I'll continue. Sorry about that. Judges chapter 3, verse 12 again. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord strengthened Eglon, the king of Moab, against Israel, because they had done evil in the sight of the Lord. All right. Eglon means a bullock or a heifer. Okay. This dude was fat. He was fat as hell. And he gathered unto the children of Ammon, and he gathered unto the children of Ammon and Amalek, and went and smote Israel and possessed the city of palm trees. So you had the Chinese and the Japanese with the Edomites. They worked together collectively, okay, to subdue the city of palm trees. Now, when you go back to Genesis chapter 36, verse 16, you can read about Amalek. That's a duke of Edom. All right, a duke of Edom. I'll continue. You know what? Let me get Joshua. Joshua 19. Or is it Judges? Let me see. Give me a second. I gotta find it. All right. I probably have to come back to it. I can't show y'all this one though. I'm trying to find one particular, but let me go to Deuteronomy 34. Deuteronomy chapter 34. This will get to the point. Verse 3. And the south and the plain of the valley of Jericho, the city of palm trees. You see that? And the south and the plain of the valley of Jericho, the city of palm trees. So Jericho is what it's talking about there. All right. When it says the city of palm trees, going back to Judges chapter 3, verse 13 again. And he gathered unto the children of Ammon and Amalek, and went and smote Israel and possessed the city of palm trees, Jericho. So the children of Israel served Eglon, the king of Moab, 18 years. All right. So we served them 18 years. Remember earlier we served the king of Mesopotamia 8 years. Now we're serving. So the punishment increased. All right. Most High put us under their hand a lot longer. All right. But when the children of Israel cried unto the Lord raised up a deliverer, Ehud, the son of Gera. All right. Ehud, his name means union. All right. He raised up a deliverer, Ehud, the son of Gera, a Benjamite, a man left-handed, and by him the children of Israel sent a present unto Eglon, the king of Moab. It says, and by Ehud they sent a present unto the king of Moab. Eglon was his name. But Ehud made a dagger which had 2 edges of a cubit length, and he did gird it under his raiment upon his right thigh. Okay, so he was left-handed, and he put it on his right thigh. And he brought the present unto Eglon, king of Moab, and Eglon was a very fat man. There it is. And when he had made an end to offer the present, he sent away the people that bare the present, but he himself tarried from the quarries that were by Gilgal. All right. And Gilgal, I highlighted that in chapter 2. All right. When you look at Joshua chapter 5, verse 9, telling you what Gilgal means. It means rolled away. All right. And the Lord said unto Joshua, this day have I rolled away the reproach of Egypt. This day have I rolled away the reproach of Egypt from off you. Wherefore the name of the place is called Gilgal unto this day. Okay, so that's what that Gilgal means, rolled away or rolling. Joshua chapter 3, verse 19 again. But he himself turned again from the quarries that were by Gilgal, and said, I have a secret errand unto thee, O king, who said, keep silence. And all that stood by him went out from him. So he said, hey, everybody calm down. Y'all leave. Okay, y'all get out. Verse 20. And Ehud came unto him, and he was sitting in a summer parlor, which he had made for himself alone. And Ehud said, I have a message from God unto thee. And he arose out of his seat, and Ehud put forth his left hand and took the dagger from his right thigh and thrust it into his belly. Okay. And the haft also went in after the blade. So now this is it said in verse 16, but Ehud made a dagger which had 2 edges of a cubit length. So it's a dagger with one handle and blades on both ends of it. Verse 22 again. So, and the haft is talking about the actual handle. Okay. And the haft also went in after the blade, and the fat closed upon the blade so that he could not draw the dagger out of his belly. And the dirt came out. Then Ehud went forth through the porch and shut the doors of the parlor upon him and locked them. All right. Verse 24. When he was gone out, his servants came, and when they had saw that, behold, the doors of the parlor were locked, they said, surely he covereth his feet in his slumber chamber. All right. Covering his feet means relieving himself, going to the bathroom. All right. And they tarried till they were ashamed. And behold, he opened not the doors of the parlor. Therefore they took a key and opened them. And behold, their Lord was fallen down dead on the earth. All right. And Ehud escaped when they tarried and passed beyond the quarries and escaped unto Sirioth. All right. That term means woody district. All right. Woody district. Obviously a dense place with a bunch of trees and so forth. All right. And it came to pass when he was come that he blew a trumpet in the mountain of Ephraim, and the children of Israel went down with him from the mount, and he before them. And he said unto them, follow after me, for the Lord hath delivered your enemies, the Moabites, into your hand. For the Lord hath delivered your enemies, the Moabites, into your hand. So it's not just today we just, oh, the Edomites. No, it's all the nations, all of them. Okay. They all had a hand. When you read, particularly Judges highlights minor captivities with these other nations. Okay. Again, 28. And he said unto them, follow after me, for the Lord hath delivered your enemies, the Moabites, into your hand. And they went down after him and took the fords of Jordan toward Moab, and suffered not a man to pass over. All right. The fords of Jordan means the passages of Jordan. All right. And they slew of Moab at that time about 10,000 men. 10,000 Moabites were put to death. All praises to the Lord. And they slew of Moab at that time about 10,000 men, all lusty, and all the men of valor, and there escaped not a man. I have a little notation in my Bible that says lusty means fat. Okay. Probably going back to Eglon, it says he was a very fat man. Okay. As the judges, so were his officers. I did see, it also meant strong, valiant as well. But again, my notation says fat there. Okay. Verse 30. So Moab was subdued that day under the hand of Israel, and the land had rest 80 years. All right. 80. 80 years we had rest. And after him was Shamgar, the son of Anath, which slew of the Philistines 600 men with an ox goad. Okay. A shaft that drives ox. He killed 600. Is what it says? Right. 600 men with an ox goad. And he also delivered Israel. Okay. So, and the screen is still purple. I pray y'all got something out of the lesson. I apologize for the technical difficulties. I have no clue why it's doing this. Lord's will, y'all got something out of it. All right. With that, I say shalom. Have a blessed day, Israel. Most High in Christ bless.